What's up guys, Volt here bringing you a brand new Fast and Furious car remake. In today's remake I am bringing you the 1997 Toyota Chaser 2.5 twin turbo from Tokyo Drift. Now this car is a car that not many people will recall seeing in the actual movie, but once I actually add the clip in that I wanted to, you guys might recall it a little bit better, which I believe. So enjoy.
Can he drive?
Can he drive? You know what DK stands for?
Donkey Kong?
Drift King.
Drift? What do you mean, drift?
Still need a dictionary?
Now that you've seen the clip, you guys probably are wondering how I actually found out about this. I was looking it up and I actually got some info. I want to give a huge shout out to a few people. One being my good friend Cheerful. Thank you for helping me decide on certain modifications and build parts for this build, as well as thinking that overall the car looked pretty close to the actual one from the movie. Also, Jacob or Salansi, thank you very much for helping as well. You are also a big help as always, bro. And last but not least, Bad Sport for actually having the kind of idea to make this using this build or somewhere close to this. I thought this would probably be the best idea, and the main reason I kind of went for this build is because of a few things. First off, it looks closest to the actual car from the movie. I know the car from the movie is actually a four-door, but this is not. And I will also say that it also has not only a drift tuning spec on it, but it has a livery that kind of reminiscence closest to the actual car from the movie. So this is why I went for the build, and let's go over and talk a little bit more about this build. So now this car is a background car, and it was in part of the movie that was kind of iconic. You know, when Sean says drift, what do you mean drift? And then the doors open up and you see the RX-7, which if you guys actually want me to try to recreate and make that, I can definitely do that. And then you also see this car, the Toyota Chaser, drifting around in the car parking garage, and it's just a very iconic scene. It just kind of gives you an essence or the beginning of drifting in the movie, and it's really cool. And I will say that this car was specifically sourced by New Era Imports for the Tokyo Drift movie, and the car received full makeover, which included a CUS body kit, an 18-inch Volk Racing GTV rims, and Toyo Sports tires. Like, this is the main looking design I could come up for the build. And I know a lot of people are going to say, it's yellow, it's yellow. Well, we'll go over that here in a little bit too. I think you'll find that a little bit interesting. Anyways, no more talking, and we're going to start with the base price like we always do. So you want to go to the internet. You want to go up here to the Travel and Transport website. You want to go down to the Southern San Andreas Super Autos website. You want to go up here to the two-door option. You want to go down and you want to find yourself the Remus, part of the Los Santos Tuners update. Now, if you don't have the trade price like I do, it's going to be costing you a whopping $1,370,000, which I'll put right here for you guys so you know the base price. But if you actually have the trade price, now again, the trade price, if you guys didn't know, discounted trade prices for the Santos Tuners vehicles are unlocked randomly. A new vehicle's trade price being unlocked every 5 reputation levels. So every 5 levels, you unlock a brand new reputation level unlock. You probably don't need to level up too much in the car meet to actually get this, but if you were actually working on certain builds like Dom's RX-7, DKs, and Morimoto's Z33s or 350Zs, depending on how you want to say it, certain builds of that sort that need to have special liveries unlocked, you'll probably have it already unlocked, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you're going to be paying the trade price, which is $1,027,500. But anyways, once you have your car and you have your color, meet us at the Los Santos car meet location. Now, there's also a few reasons for this location as well. It kind of reminiscence closest to a parking garage, so it kind of fits for the build and the area. As you see, the Remus is in the sports category as we pull in, which actually does fit it pretty nicely. It does look like a very nice sports car. I don't really necessarily know what it is mainly based after. I know I based it after a 240SX for Letty's build. I know I also used it for the S15 for the Mona Lisa build in Tokyo Drift. Now I'm using it for a Toyota Chaser from Tokyo Drift as well, so it's kind of crazy. So as I go over all my builds, I go over the overall look, the visual appearance, and the basic design, the car and how it's portrayed in the movie, game, or anywhere else in general itself. Anything I don't go over is completely up to you. I put a few staples on my build. If you want to recreate my build or take some things away from my build, you're more than welcome to. But without further ado, let's get into the build. So the first thing you want to do is Another main reason, again, why I said I picked this car is because it came with a drift tuning option, which there's only a few cars in the game right now, and I believe for the new update there's also going to be even a few more cars added with the drift tuning option, so that'd be nice. I wish they would actually add it for a few other cars, but I highly doubt they're going to be adding it to a lot. What you want to do is you want to go to the drift tuning and you want to apply the drift tuning for a whopping $200,000. So you're going to do that. So once you get done equipping it, you can also remove it if you want for $50,000. So you don't have to keep it for drift tuning if you don't want to. So just a little quick note there. But as about the only performance option I'm actually going to tell you about that I usually mainly don't go over the performance, but that's one thing you definitely want is to get that drift tuning on there. You won't be able to stance it, you won't be able to like lower it or drive it normally or anything. It's just always going to be a drift car, so just keep that in mind. But the drift tuning is amazing. So glad they added it, and it's so much better than the low grip tires. So the first thing you want to go to is bodywork. You want to go and keep the stock trim on there. It actually had like a black stripe going through most of the car, like the door and all that. You can kind of see the separation between it, and I'll post pictures as I always do for all my builds. So you don't want to remove it. That's definitely not what you want to look for the look. You definitely want to have that stock trim on there. I know it looks a little weird, a little different. That's how the actual car had it, so keep the stock trim on there. Best option there. After that, you want to go to bumpers. You want to go to the front bumpers and you want to put on the sport bumper. Now I think this one and a few other people actually think this one looks the best. It has the best representation for the actual bumper like cutout that is actually on there, like the actual open part of the bumper right there. Another option you could go for is the stock bumper because it does have the lights on the side, which it does have lights on the actual bumper of the actual car. But I think that the sport bumper is a little bit more reminiscent to the actual car that's actually from the movie and all that. So I think the sport bumper is the best option there. After that, move on to the rear bumpers. You want to go with a sport bumper again there. It has the cutouts for the exhaust, as you can see. All the other ones kind of stick out a little bit too much, and the bumper adds way too much on the back end. Look at this. Look at all that. Too much. So I'd say either go with the stock bumper, which it doesn't look the greatest in my opinion. I think the sport bumper has a little bit more depth to the back bumper, the extension a little bit, and it also covers up the exhaust a little bit more than this one. And the actual car had the exhaust kind of covered up. So I think to match the actual body kit, go with the sport bumper. I think it does look the best, actually, just in general. So there you go. After that, move on to the engine. You want to go to air filters. You want to go with the stock air filters. This is the way the engine looked in the picture, so this is what I kind of based it after. After that, move on to the engine block. You want to go with the polished valve covers. As you can see, it's a nice polished engine right there. From there, move on to the cam cover. You want to go with the carbon cam belt cover. Again, I did have a secondary color on there and it did look a little bit interesting, but I think Cheerful is actually right, and actually going with the carbon option is a lot better of an idea. After that, move on to the strut brace. We went with a polished strut brace. I say we because I did have the basic one on there, but I feel like a polished just kind of fits with the engine a little bit more, and also Cheerful also thinks that as well. So I've gone with what a lot of people give me suggestions about the builds and all that, so that's what I'm going for right there, polished strut brace. If you don't want to, you can just keep the basic strut brace, completely up to you. It didn't actually have a strut brace that we've seen in the pictures, so I would say completely up to you on there. After that, move on to the intercoolers. You want to go with the stock intercooler. It didn't have no intercooler on there that we noticed, so I would definitely just keep that nothing. I know it was a 2.5 twin turbo and all that, but I mean, it didn't have anything, guys, so I don't know. So I would just definitely go with the stock intercooler. Best option there. After that, move on to the exhaust. Now, I did have the big bore exhaust on there because I thought these fit a little bit better, and they kind of do to an extent, so you can go with these if you wish. But me and Cheerful now actually agree that the chrome exhausts are probably a little bit better. They're a little bit smaller, they're not as big, and they also kind of fit in the grooves a little bit better on the bumper as well. So chrome exhaust, best option there. After that, move on to the fenders. You want to go with the stock fenders. Didn't have any bolt-ons, no little vents on the side or anything on the rear or front fenders, so don't worry about changing anything on that. After that, move on to the grill. You want to go with the split grill. It had a nice open kind of grill to it. Now, unfortunately, it did have a few more bars on there, but this is about the closest thing we can get to the actual car in game from the movie and everything. So I would definitely go with the split grill. It's kind of like a black plastic option. I was going to go with the carbon, and we were thinking about carbon, but it doesn't look right. It doesn't fit right. So I think the split grill is the best option there. After that, move on to the headlight covers. You just want to keep them stock. They weren't colored or tinted in any way, so keep it stock. From there, move on to the hood. You want to go to hood. You want to keep it stock. It had like a nice kind of little bit of a bulge on the actual hood, like right there, as you can see, like the little bit of a raise, and that's the way you want it to look. They didn't have any like special things like this, no vents, no hood scoops or anything like that. So yeah, definitely go with the stock option there, best option there. After that, move on to the interior. Now, the interior was basically stock, so I'm going to go over it real quick, not too fast, but I'll have a picture there so you guys can see. So for the dash, you want to go with the stock dash. Nothing changes there. After that, move on to the dials. You want to go to the stock dials, nothing changes there either. After that, move on to the doors. You want to go with the stock doors, nothing changing there. Again, basically a stock interior for the most part. After that, move on to the seats. Again, stock seats, nothing changing there. Then they look closest to the actual seats in the actual real life car. After that, move on to the steering wheels, stock steering wheel, nothing changing there. And last but not least, the roll cage. There's no roll cage in the car. I thought maybe it did have like maybe a half cage or something, but unfortunately, no, there's no roll cage at all. Pretty much a basic stock interior, which is, I know, kind of boring, but they made it look for the outside and not the inside. After that, move on to the lights. You want to go to headlights and you want to put on the Xenon lights. I know, you want to put Xenon lights on because in the movie, the car actually had Xenon lights. It's kind of cringe. I wish it had the stock lights. It looks so much better in my opinion, but I guess they wanted to stand out a little bit more fancy, and they put Xenon lights on it. I know color filters are a thing and this could not be true. No, it's true, guys. I'm sorry. It has Xenon lights. So Xenon lights, best option there. After that, move on to the neon kits. Neon lights gonna be none because it didn't have any neon that I noticed. Even in the car park scene, which, you know, like the scene that I seen, like the real life car and all that, didn't see any neon on the car, so highly wouldn't recommend putting any on there. After that, move on to the livery. I went with the Jackal Motorsport livery. Now, I think this one fits the best because it has like the best representation for the design for the car. I was thinking something along the lines of performance branding black, but the black is not black enough. As you can see, my pure black overdoes the regular black livery there, and it doesn't look right. There's no lines or stripes on it. So I think the Jackal Motorsport, even though it has like Jackal on the side and some on the back there, and like the stripes are kind of weird, it gives the representation or like kind of idea of the car that we're trying to make. So the Jackal Motorsport livery is the best option there in my personal opinion. After that, move on to the plate. You want to go with a blue and white 3, which I think is the best representation for a Tokyo style plate. And the custom plate that I kind of think that fits the best, and I'll post a little picture on there that I can get. It's gonna be hard to make it out because I don't really know exactly what is on the plate, but from what I could make out, I think it said 486-75. Now I don't know the other numbers. I don't know the exact like regional number. I think there's like certain sections of Japan and all that, so like plates over there are a little confusing to me, but this is what I think like the big number said on the actual plate. If you guys know anything about the plate or what the plate is, please let me know. I'm more than happy to give you guys credit in the top pin comment and change it in there. Just want to make this car for you guys, that way you know what you need to actually make it. For me, I think 486-75 or 486-75 in game is the best representation for the actual plate, and a blue and white 3 is always going to be the best representation for a Tokyo or a Japan style plate. So there you go. Same respray for last remove on to the roof. You want to go to roof accessories. You want to go with none. Didn't have any antennas or roof fins or even like a carbon wing or anything like that, or any kind of wings, so make sure to keep that none. After that, move on to the roof itself. You want to go with the stock roof. Didn't have the roof scoops or tires, I guess if you get a flat tire, you need some different tires on there. You can always change out the tires pretty quick when you're drifting, but now you just want to keep that nice and stock. After that, move on to the skirts. I went with the drift skirts. Now, I didn't go for this just because it was a drift car and just because it was drifting in the movie. They just fit the best for the actual real life skirts on the actual car, because they jut out a little bit, they have a little bit more distance to them, and I just think they fit the best. And they literally do. Like, so the skirts and the rear bumper kind of match together. As you can see, like they kind of jut out in the same direction. Front, not as much, but can't do anything about that. But these two kind of match up, and I think it just fits the best. After that, move on to the sun strips. You want to go with the secondary sun strip. It is pure black. I was thinking about going with a carbon one because it did have like the text on there, but the sun strip is like kind of invisible. It's just the text there. So I still think that going with just a secondary sun strip is just better than doing this, because it has like a weird kind of like tint to it, or a pearl to it or something, even though there's no pearl on this car. It just has a weird kind of look to it. So I would definitely just go with a secondary sun strip. If you want, you can go with the carbon sun strip. That's completely your choice. After that, move on to the spoiler. I went with the extreme downforce BGW. Now, this took a lot of talking. There is another wing you could possibly go for, and it would be the drift wing, but it's too wide. The holdings, or like the brackets for the wing, are too spaced out, and the like little fins on the back are not right. There is one wing on here that actually looks really close to it. I would say extreme downforce BGW is the best one there, but you can also go with the drift wing if you wish. After that, move on to suspension. I went with the lowered suspension. I don't think it was lowered all that much. It might have even been stock. I'm not 100% sure on that. I just wanted to lower it a little tiny bit because I feel like it probably was lowered at the most a lowered. It's completely your call. I wouldn't go past a lowered in my opinion. I would either keep it stock or lower it, but it was kind of low to the ground, so I went with a lowered to kind of get a little bit more closer to the center of gravity on the ground. So lowered is the best option there for me. It's completely your call on that, what you want to do there. After that, move on to the trunk. You want to go with the stock trunk. Didn't have no sticker bombs or even a carbon trunk, so make sure to go with the stock trunk there. After that, move on to the wheels. You want to go to wheel type. You want to go down here to the sport category. You want to go to the stock rims, and you want to put on the Feroci RR rims. So these rims I think fit the best because they're supposed to be 18-inch Volk Racing GTV rims with Toyo Sport tires. Okay. Now, I say this, and the best option you can get are these rims, in my opinion. Now, they do curve out a little bit, which I can understand. The rim parts themselves aren't super sharp at the ends, they're kind of more rounded off or whatever, but they do have the rivets around the outside. They have the same number of like double 5 spokes and all that, if you know what I'm talking about, and they just look the best for the actual build. I think they fit the best as well. So the Feroci RR are the best option in my first opinion there. After that, move on to the wheel color. I went with a black steel. Now, they're not black, and they're definitely not gray, and they're definitely not chrome or alloy. They're kind of like a kind of mixture between gray and black. So a black steel, hence the name, kind of fits the best, and it kind of represents the best representation for the rims, as well as kind of the interior as well. I think the interior is also black steel, so it's kind of crazy, but they kind of match the interior a little bit too. But the rims, in my opinion, look really cool in that color. And I do like the rims in this color for a lot of cars, actually. So black steel, best option there. After that, move on to the tires. You want to go to tire design. You want to keep them stock. No custom tires on this at all, so keep stock. After that, move on to the tire enhancements. You can keep standard tires if you wish, or you can add bulletproof tires since it is GT Online. I understand that. Completely your call there, but if you don't have the drift tuning, I would highly recommend putting on low grip tires. But if you do have the drift tuning, one of these two would be the best option there. After that, move on to the tire smoke. You just want to go the white tire smoke. I don't see a point in changing this. Plus, I think there's actually pictures of the tire smoke on this car too. So there you go. After that, move on to windows before respray. You want to go with a nice light smoke. I think light smoke fits the best for the windows. I know they were tinted, and I know most of the drift cars don't have tinted windows, or at least some of them anyways. I wouldn't, because if like you break a window, you don't have to not only replace the window, but you also have to replace the tint as well. So more money out of your pocket, in my opinion, but hey, they did what they wanted to do. I would say either go with a light smoke, which I think is the best representation for the car, or maybe even a dark smoke. It's kind of hit or miss on which one you want to go for. Me personally, I'm going to go with the light smoke. I don't think it needs too much tint to it. Definitely not limo, 100% not limo, and definitely none. So either take a pick of these two, light smoke or dark smoke. Me personally, I'm going with light smoke. And I'll see you guys in 2 seconds with a rolled steel primer color. Alright, and we're back. As you can see, I have my car and my primered out rolled steel. Pretty much what I always do for all my builds. That way you know what color I'm going to be doing for the LC color and custom crew color. There is a custom crew color that is needed for this, and it is pure black. Yes, you're right. It is pure black. But unfortunately, it's not for the primary. It's for the secondary. But anyways, we're going to go and customize the beauty with the LC color first. So you want to go to primary. You want to go down here to the metallics. And the car listed, actually, when it was on sale to actually buy, was orange, metallic, and black. So guess what? A lot of people say it is actually yellow. Even with the color filters and all that, it does look a little bit yellow. But if you actually go down here and you go to the yellows, it looks nothing like those, right? So what you want to do is you actually want to go up to the oranges. You want to go down to the bright orange, and it's going to give a yellowish kind of look to it, but it's also going to be an orange. Now, I know you can go with a classic color and not have to worry about a pearl, but in this case, you actually want to buy the metallic because it was a metallic color in the actual listing. So definitely go with the bright orange for the primary color right there. After that, go to the pearlescents. You want to go up to the blacks, and you just want to put on a black pearlescent. That way you have no pearlescent at all. So you still get the look of the actual car. It still looks kind of yellow, but it's actually orange. You know, bright orange is kind of interesting color, that's for sure. After that, move on to the secondary color. You want to go to the metallics. You want to go up here to the blacks, and you want to apply that just like that. After that, you want to go to the trim color. You want to go with a nice black steel. It is a kind of mixture between black and gray for the seats. Again, it's kind of like a carbon-ish kind of look stitching to it. So I think the black steel kind of represents it the best, and I think it just fits the best. And it also kind of matches the rims too, so it's kind of crazy, but I think that the black steel is the best option there. And after that, we move on to the accent color. You want to go with a nice ice white. The kind of dials and everything were white, so I wouldn't change anything out of that. Definitely an ice white fits the best for that. And that right there is the LSC color done. Again, decently viable option. It's not bad. The only thing and the only complaint I have with this is that if you look at the sides and you zoom in on the stripes go over the black. They're actually not black. The black stripes on the actual car are pure black, and to make them disappear or kind of blend in a little bit better, that's where you add the pure black custom crew color. So as I said, the custom crew color is only for the secondary color. It's not for the primary. The primary is always going to be an LSC color. So there you go. Just make sure it is a bright orange, metallic bright orange with no pearl. So for the secondary color, it's pure black. I've used it so many times. I will put the hex code on screen right now, as well as the RGB and hex code down in the description below for you guys. So there you go. I'm not going to even show you that it's like anything special. Is just, I've done it a million times. But as you can see from this angle, as you see the stripes onto the black side skirt, you'll see the sky skirt change to the pure black color and blend in a little bit better in 3, 2, 1. As you can see, they pretty much disappear. You still have that strip from the bodywork kind of look there, but we're supposed to add it there, and that's what we need. I mean, it just makes it look better in my opinion. I think it just matches and fits better. I know a lot of people don't like using custom crew color. You can use the metallic black if you wish, but I think the custom pure black looks so much better. So we're gonna apply that just like that. And yeah, guys, that's it. That's how you recreate the 1997 Toyota Chaser 2.5 twin turbo that was driven or drifting around in Tokyo Drift. Decently viable option. I know it's not a four-door. It has drift tuning to it. It can actually be a fun car. It looks relatively similar to it, especially for the design and everything we have. I'm happy with it. I would say overall, I would give it like a 6 or maybe a 7 out of 10, design and customization wise. So anyways, we're going back to our parking spot. We'll see if it's light outside. You can actually see the color in the sun, because you haven't seen it in the sun yet. It still looks yellow, but it's a bright orange still. So all right, I'm gonna do a little spin for you guys since it actually is a little bit sunny out yet. As you can see, the bright orange looks yellow, doesn't it? It doesn't look like an orange at all to me. I mean, in my personal opinion, it doesn't look orange. It looks more yellow than anything, and it's just kind of weird. I found a color that works as a orange, but it also works as a yellow too. But yeah, that's pretty much the car. And for drifting, the drift tuning makes it a world of difference. It's so much fun. Like I like just drifting around in free mode all the time, but I will say it is a little bit hard to control at times too. You still need to use your handbrake. You still need to counter steer a lot, but you can actually combine drifts so much easier and get a lot closer to, say, like the ends and like the sidewalks and stuff. I mean, I'm not the greatest at drifting at all. I'm just saying that if you practice enough, just like before, you'll actually have a lot of fun, and you can actually drift in and out of traffic, as you can see. Like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. So as I'm drifting around, and if I actually go full speed here, listen to this. You can hear the turbo. It did have a twin, it was a twin turbo, so it makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna try my little course I made up here. It's kind of creative. It's in free mode. You guys don't need to do a job for this, so I'll just end it up here while I'm just drifting around it. So if you want to try it out yourself, just try to follow this path. It works pretty simple. But anyways, hope you guys did enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Leave comments down in the comment section down below for what build you'd like to see next. Any kind of build at all. I love challenges. I love making not only myself happy, but you guys happy as well. And I always love just trying to do what I can to make you guys happy. I know I haven't uploaded for a while, but the family and the crew is still growing ever so slightly. And that's actually insane, especially since I haven't uploaded for a while. But I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to get back into streams. I'm going to be uploading more Spider-Man content here soon as well. And yeah, just stay tuned for all kinds of new stuff coming to the channel. Eventually, we're going to be adding memberships, and eventually I'm going to be making an Instagram account as well, I guess. So stay tuned for that. With all that being said, hopefully my drifting isn't too terrible, and I'm not like butchering the car in general. But it's kind of hard to drift and talk at the same time. There's someone drifting up here with me. It's kind of crazy. That's actually a first. I've never actually had that happen before. But like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy the overall video. It's been a while. Again, I thank you so much for the never-ending support and love on the channel, on the videos, on everything that I do. And with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day / night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the love and support. As like I always said before, as always, I can't thank you enough. And that's pretty much going to be it. So I'll catch you guys later, and I'm out. Peace.